Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe, but a multiverse, where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next. Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Welcome into DC On Screen episode 477. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This, as always, my stalwart co-host, Jason Goss.
Well, not always, but yes, I'm here.
Yeah, not always. Sometimes you're less than stalwart,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But, none of us are perfect, man.
There's 2 or 3 exceptions somewhere in the list of 400-something freaking recordings.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you're just wart.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anything interesting transpiring over on your end for the week?
Nope, not a thing. Redoing a bathroom. Super boring.
Yeah. I've just been working in the Dave Cave, man. Working in the house, working on the Dave Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
yeah.
I have a lot of stuff, man.
I'd trade with you. I mean, because at least you're getting to do some aesthetic stuff. I'm just kind of trying to make sure a freaking stud is level from 3 different directions.
I mean, there's that stuff too. I mean, it's like, I'll take a break from that and, go build a thing,
Yeah, I get that. Like, if you're like framing a wall, you can't be like, you know what if its stud went this way and enjoy yourself? There's no creativity to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit, but,
The best you have is if you get done and you look at it and you're like, that wall is straight. That looks like a wall. That's all you got. And that's not nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, so we should probably get to the news.
Bring it.
Not a huge amount this week. And I will admit that this first piece isn't really news. It just isn't. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to hear. So earlier this week, Shazam star Zachary Levi, or I guess it was last week, Zachary Levi alerted Ben Affleck to Makuta, an 11-year-old Congo refugee in Atlanta who was dying from a rare form of cancer. And this kid is a huge Batman fan. And so on Friday, Affleck called Makuta on FaceTime, and everybody's been very pleased with that. Levi said, "Not all heroes wear capes, though coincidentally some do. Bravo, Ben Affleck," and continued prayers for Makuta. Ben says Makuta is the real superhero here, and all is right with the world.
I think he took some time to make sure he thanked the giant amount of staff that made sure that was something he was aware of.
Oh, he absolutely did.
That
all happened, and they thanked him.
Yeah.
It was
a nice little. It's just a nice little piece where you get to feel like everything's going well for a second. Like, I don't care if that's your Batman or your Shazam or whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? That was his, and he feels good, and damn it, that matters way more than anything we think.
And, in my mind, whether he does another film or not, no, he's Batman now. He's just Batman forever.
Yeah.
And that's not even it. He also offered financial support for Makuta and his mother.
Oh, yeah. He was going to bring, I think he was going to bring everybody back together. There was some...
Yeah. I don't know if she said yes or not, but he did offer to fly her from Zimbabwe to Atlanta.
Yeah.
But, I even remember, back in the day, when I was driving for a living, I would listen to the radio, and Ben Affleck was always on commercials for the Eastern Congo Initiative that he helped found back in, 2010? And so that's something that's been near and dear to that dude for a long time. Yeah. On to some other Batman news, though.
I feel like everything
CNA
after
Lifestyle
this is going to be less inspiring than oh, man, nice thing happened.
Right? So CNA Lifestyle was talking to Jake Gyllenhaal, and they were asking if he would be Batman after Affleck left, and he was like, "Oh, wow, that's a difficult question." The answer to that is no.
Why is it a difficult question then?
I don't know. And everyone's arguing about whether or not what this really means. I say, if Affleck hasn't decided what he's going to do yet, Gyllenhaal can't say yes.
Yeah, that's a very, yes, that's precise. Yes, that's a whole side of this story just off the table.
Yeah, this is a question you can't answer in an interview. So,
I mean, I feel like the only way you can definitively say no is if you have personally decided, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm good.
yeah.
And then even then, we don't know to what level you're being considered. You might have gotten called by a producer on Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You may have gotten that call from a rogue producer on Batman who really has nothing in his pocket to offer. He's just kind of reaching out to one, like that kind of reach out call all the time.
Yeah. I say even now, the answer might be yes or maybe based on what Ben Affleck decides to do. Like, you can't say maybe. You can't say yes, definitely. You can't say yes.
Oh, for sure. No.
All you can say is no.
Because at that point, you're attached to the project, and that changes the project entirely. Like, that is not a thing you can do. Even maybe is keeping your name in the hat in a way that is a little you're speaking out of school.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's not a story. It's really not a story.
Yeah.
Like this guy who might theoretically one day play Batman doesn't play Batman. Here we go.
Right.
Here's a thing to click on. Dave, quick question. In the event that Affleck drops out, would you be willing to play Batman?
Yes.
Okay, breaking news. David Robertson from DC On Screen has decided that he would in fact play Batman if Ben Affleck drops out.
I'm attached. No,
yeah,
guys.
you're attached. That is news in the sense that this is news, man.
Yeah.
We have got to get less preoccupied with shit that's happening 4 years in advance.
What a scoop.
Like 4 decisions before.
You have an exclusive here, though, man. I think you're overlooking that. I'm going to be Batman.
I know, and I'm very excited for you.
Yeah.
Do I want to play Robin to your Batman? No, I don't. That's another headline.
You've already done that.
That's another headline right there. I know. Jason Goss refuses to play Robin to David Robertson's Batman, and then subtitle, he's done it before, there must be some trouble between these two.
Well, yeah. Bad blood, a little bit of bad blood. This is Batman bad blood all over again. And I think in that headline it would be Jason Goss refuses to reprise his role
as Robin to David C. Robertson
from Batman: The Short Halloween.
Yeah. I get that. And with any luck, the internet would collectively decide to blame Kevin Tsujihara for my refusal. It's just
I do want to.
I just really want us all to pull back, just to. And when I say a tad, I mean like 50% from what we think is a newsworthy thing to click on.
Yeah.
Like, I wish there was a trigger in a lot of people's heads that said, like, this guy won't do blah, blah, blah. And in your head, you're like, that's 3 hypothetical things away. That's not a headline. And we all didn't click on it. It would be amazing. So many websites would change what they were doing. Actual journalism might happen again.
I will say, if for whatever reason this is not true, if Jake Gyllenhaal winds up being Batman, I will give it a shot, but I will be deeply, deeply disappointed. I don't want that dude playing Batman.
I'm even frustrated with that opinion at this point. You don't know.
That's all right.
Give it a shot.
I'm gonna give him a shot. I just said I would give him a shot. I'm just saying, I don't think I'm down for it.
Just give him a shot before.
So far,
I'm so frustrated with the toxic polarization of this fan base at this point that at this point, anything that happens, I'm like, dude, give it a damn minute. I don't even care. Don't even care. Give it a minute.
I'm gonna give it a minute.
It is frustrating to be a fan of these characters at this point. Whew. Got that off my chest.
Like my version of like vitriol over a casting is, we'll see. And then like I'm thinking about something else. I'm not on Twitter going like, screw this guy.
No, I mean, that is true. I have seen your version of being frustrated, and it is lackadaisical. I mean, you can be bothered to raise your shoulders about about 1.25 inches. And because your frame is tall, it would be no more than 1/2 inch if it was me.
Right.
It looks exaggerated just because you're tall. That's it.
Well, look, I'm very, 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 like, look, I don't want to, okay, first of all, I don't want to say that I don't like Jake Gyllenhaal because I've liked him in everything I've seen him in. Like, everything I've seen him in. He's a fine actor. I don't see him as Batman, But then, you know who I did see as Batman? Christian Bale. And I walked away from that kind of feeling pretty that wasn't
pretty
great.
pretty robbed.
Like,
That didn't work.
He wasn't the, like, it did in some senses, but he was not the driving force behind those movies for me.
No. I mean, it as we said before, that voice was too much. I mean, and they made some weird choices with the back half of that trilogy. Otherwise, he played a great Bruce Wayne.
A little too great, yeah.
I don't know how you be too great as Bruce Wayne. Your job
because
is to
there
be
are places
greatest.
there are places where he's supposed to be hanging out as Batman and talking to only people who know he's Batman, and he's still asking stupid questions as if he's Bruce Wayne
no, that
in a
part,
public setting.
Sure. Yeah, there was. Yeah, I felt like that was still in the back half that I'm disclaiming.
It was mostly Rises.
Mostly,
yeah,
mostly. Yeah,
it was mostly Rises. Yeah, it happened in Dark Knight though, for real.
Yeah, it did a few times.
When he's talking to Lucius about China.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have had those questions. Anyway,
no. Some well documented problems from us.
But yeah, everybody's opinion is their opinion. There are things I love about the Dark Knight trilogy and things I hate about it. And I would give Gyllenhaal a shot as Batman. I'd see it through. I'd be like, it's Batman. I'm going to see it.
Sure.
I'm going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
If you'd asked me 10, 15 years ago, like, hey, what do you think about, Lawrence from Office Space being Batman? I'd be like, you're an idiot. You know what? He's my second favorite Batman. Batman the Brave and the Bold made me cry at least as much as Batman the Animated Series ever did.
Yeah.
Like, fantastic series, fantastic Batman. So, you never know. You really don't ever know. And I try to keep an open mind, even though I'm still human. I still hear a name and go, ugh, sometimes.
Oh, yeah, no, you cannot, you can't stop prejudice. That's a human thing. You just have to kind of try to internalize that, take the next step. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And, like you said, stay
We as humans, as humans come along with all sorts of baggage.
Oh, yeah. We are not right.
For all I know, my issue with Jake Gyllenhaal might be that he looks a little too much like Tobey Maguire. I don't know.
Yeah. So really, part of the backlash in your head might be like, I don't want Spider-Man playing Batman.
Right, and he was going to play Spider-Man in Spider-Man 4 for a minute, or Spider-Man 3 or some bullshit. I don't know.
Whatever the hell that was.
What he and Tobey Maguire were fantastic in Brothers.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, it's so good. It's so dark.
I do believe
it's
that they would have made good on-screen for casting purposes. I think they nailed that on casting. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like Toby does a fantastic. Toby is dude in the military who they think he's dead, and Jake Gyllenhaal is taking care of his wife and his kid, and he and the wife kind of start getting into it a little bit, kind of falling for each other a little bit. Then Tobey Maguire turns out it was in a POW camp, comes back and got PTSD really bad, and PTSD? Is that PTSD?
Yep.
So I knew I kept saying it wrong. And dude, he kills it. He kills it. He's so good. Maguire just kills it. He's lost a ton of weight. He really did a good job.
Oh, good.
It's definitely worth watching.
No problems with you. That just no.
Yeah. Natalie Portman does a good job.
I don't know.
Everybody just does a great job. Yeah, I don't know. Just
I guess we don't have to. Whatever. He's signed off on this thing.
Yeah,
that
according to him,
was I don't know. Maybe never even a damn thing. I don't know.
Right. All right. Over to Aquaman. So Digital Spy is reporting that they're moving it up a week in the UK from December 21st to December 14th. And there is there's no reason for the date change has really been given, except for the, Robert Rodriguez has a movie coming out, Alita Battle Angel. I don't think that'll do anything. But the Transformers spinoff, Bumblebee, is coming out December 21st. Mm-hmm. And then Mary Poppins Returns, Disney has that coming out December 25th. And that's going to crush everything, especially anything called Aquaman. It's going to crush.
Yeah.
But then I don't feel good about December 14th either, because Sony's animated Spider-Man movie is coming out then. So
it'll do okay.
Whatever.
But not that great.
Yeah, I don't think it will, unless the Aquaman trailers really blow us away. I don't think it'll.
Just don't think they're buying the right screen time right now.
I don't, and it is frustrating.
That was a huge problem with Justice League, man. Huge problem. You bought it between Thor Ragnarok and Pixar anything, The hell were you thinking?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little afraid for Aquaman right now, honestly. But,
yeah. It's like any other movie, though. You've got to build your own ship and, ride that thing. So let's at least see a trailer before we get worried.
yeah. I mean, I'm just worried.
Referring to my previous philosophy, even when you see the first trailer, give it a damn second, guys.
Right.
I'm really becoming, I want a shirt that says, give it a damn second, guys, at this point in my life.
Mm-hmm. How about just wait for it? Wait for it?
No, that's the thing. Wait for it implies that I know there's a payoff. I don't know. I don't. But give it a second.
All right.
It may fail us.
Over to Batgirl. Yeah, it might. All right. Now, from Bumblebees to Bats, Christina Hodson, man, writer of the aforementioned Transformers spinoff Bumblebee, is, according to the Hollywood Reporter, writing Batgirl. She wrote the 2017 movie Unforgettable with Rosario Dawson and Katherine Heigl. Now, she also wrote the Birds of Prey draft, and Humberto Gonzalez over on Twitter says, Hodson knocked the BOP draft out of the park, hence why she got Batgirl, and BOP is out to directors as the next Harley Quinn project. Project is not dead whatsoever, but a priority. Humberto is right about half the time, so we'll see. I've read over and over again that
she wrote it.
Birds of Prey script.
Yeah, if at least that is factually true, then it makes a ton of sense to move her over to Batgirl. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's a good sign.
Yeah. The Black Adam, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was talking about Black Adam with Yahoo Movies, and the Bat brand Bat brand BRAN over on Twitter, Brandon Bayham was the first to alert us to this. And really all it is The Rock telling Yahoo Movies, the script came in, it's great, we're working on it. If things come together in the way we anticipate them coming together, it feels like a 2019 movie. Which is the first I think we've heard about Black Adam in a long time.
It's been a minute, man.
But I feel like every 6 months, Dwayne Johnson comes out and says something like this, and then we don't hear about it for a while.
Yeah,
because he's too busy making shit like Rampage.
I want to laugh at it, but part of me wants to watch the giant creatures and just shove popcorn down my throat for an hour and a half.
Well, yeah, I want to see Pacific Rim too. I mean.
Yeah, that'd be hard. I would not. If you had asked 8-year-old me, hey, there's a movie about giant robots versus giant interdimensional aliens. You want to see it? And if 7-year-old me knew that 30-year-old me was fuck it, I don't care, that's bullshit. 7-year-old me might have shot himself.
Yeah,
this is not a version of me that I appreciate. No. I don't want to live in a world without wonder. I don't like who I grew up to be.
I think my child version of me would be very pleased with who I grew up to be. The only problem is my adult self isn't that pleased with it.
Hey,
but whatever.
That's an argument we all have to face on a daily basis. All boys grown tall.
I'm a classic self-loather. All right, over to I guess Justice League. Zack Snyder's been over on Vero explaining a lot of things, and he did confirm that the Deathstroke footage from last year, the first Deathstroke footage, everyone lost their shit, was just test footage. I didn't know that had to be confirmed, but apparently it does.
Yeah, it looked like test footage.
Yeah. He also went on to talk about some more Batman v Superman stuff, which has caused a lot of stuff online, people talking about think pieces saying oh, well, if you have to explain it. I'm to be fair, a lot of this stuff I didn't need explained to me. I mean, there's a few things.
It's a lot of it made sense before he confirmed it. That's why a lot of the headlines, even the most clickiest of the baitiest, have been Snyder confirms blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So Snyder has gone. He's kind of run the gamut. We talked about a bunch of this last week. He talked about the picture, the print above Bruce's bed, the Mapplethorpe. Mm-hmm. He says, I chose to represent the erotic as a drug that Bruce uses sex to momentarily forget his pain. And he's referring to Robert Mapplethorpe, a photographer who was pretty controversial at times. He did a lot of nudes, a lot of BDSM stuff in the late 60s and early 70s. Kind of known for a lot of his erotic stuff. He also went on to talk about how he felt like... Someone said that in BVS, they felt like it was implied that Lex killed his father. And Zack says, we feel the same way about Lex taking out his dad. Now, I mean, that's not the first time that's happened. Like, that has comic precedent in Luther the Unauthorized Biography and Mark Waid's Superman Birthright. Me personally, I never got that impression because he also talks about dad coming back. But I guess I'll have to go back and look at it. I don't know. I never really got that impression that was what happened.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that Zack felt that way.
I'm a little okay with it either way. It would be super maniacal if there was an extra layer to that where he made it seem as though he might come back so he could use the leverage of the previous Luthor. And he secretly knows he killed him straight DED dead. All of those things are, to me, like perfectly workable.
Yeah. Now someone, and this is a little aggravating, but someone asked Snyder if there were ever plans for a Jason Todd subplot in BVS, and Snyder responded, "What makes you think that's Jason Todd?"
Now, that one's a little childish, Zach. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what makes me think it's Jason Todd is, one, it looks like the same storyline, but also, and importantly, the guy that designed the suits said in a video, "This is the Jason Todd Robin suit."
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, man. I mean, it's your universe. Well, I mean, not anymore, but it was your universe. I guess in your mind, it could be Dick or Tim or whoever the hell.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll probably.
This was also.
I'm just going to predict that at some point we get a response to that. At this point, he's gotten so engaged. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back with something like, "Well, this is what I was implying here and there and there and there and there." We'll see.
So Snyder also explained to a fan who asked as to why Wayne Manor had been left to decompose. He says, I think his father commissioned the lake house as a gift to his mother, a place built by her favorite architect, and she loved it. When Bruce turned 18, he moved in. He ordered Wayne Manor to be left to decompose. That just seems weird to me. Like, it feels like Snyder would have, I don't know, had more of a... he left it decompose after, like, or maybe like Joker found out who they were or something and burned it to the ground, or so, you know, I don't know, not burned it to the ground, but just messed it up real good. Or I feel like I feel like Zack probably in his mind had some sort of idea, like, about, you know, Bruce leaving Wayne Manor as like him leaving the Wayne part of himself and becoming more of the Bat and starting killing. That's what I would think it would be. Whatever, though. I mean, that's so strange. I feel like that's a strange backstory.
I don't know. I've got in that universe zero problem with what either of you are saying. I can live with either. I really can.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just thought it was kind of a weird, straightforward answer. Like, this is just the backstory of what happened. There are no thematic reasons for it.
I mean, I would like it if there was something, but I don't know. I do. I don't know. I guess I do agree with you. It is strange that there's no...
Yeah. It's
no
a little
thing.
weird, right?
Yeah, it is a little weird. But not the end of the world.
No.
In a way, it'd be kind of funny if it was just, well, he abandoned Wayne Manor. We're not thinking about that anymore.
I mean, I get it as like, he embraces that brighter side of himself. He embraces the ideals and the dreams of his father a little bit more as he, like, turns Wayne Manor into the first Hall of Justice. I kind of dig that concept, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah. If I was trying to do a theme, it would mostly be, I like the idea that he moves into a glass house as he becomes a person who has a secret life.
Yeah. Or he moves into a glass house and starts throwing stones a little harder.
And then learns how to throw batarangs. Bam, we're there.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, I kind of wish he had said that. Like, yeah, like, he moves into a glass house as a show of transparency.
That would have worked for me.
That's kind of fun. Anyway, we do have a piece of fan feedback this week. It comes from Jordan Valdez over at the Multiverse Musings podcast. And he left us a voicemail, so we'll jump right into that right the hell now.
Hey there, Dave and Jason. This is Jordan Valdez. I'm just calling in to clarify about something. You brought up that somebody brought up Mercy, the episode of Smallville, in relation to James Wan. That was me. I want to clarify something. James Wan did not direct that episode of Smallville, but that episode is heavily inspired by the Saw movie. So that's what I meant. You were having a conversation on Twitter about what James Wan films you've seen, and I said I hadn't seen the Saw films, but I've seen the Smallville episode Mercy. So I was sort of joking because it's very heavily inspired by the Saw films. Anyway, it's an amazing episode. I love it. But no, it is not directed by James Wan. So just wanted to clear that up. Since I'm talking about Smallville, I'll just go out by saying Klana forever. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right, Jordan, man, thank you so much for leaving us a voicemail. I'm sorry. I don't keep up with, like, I didn't even think to look it up to see, like, I thought that you were just saying that James Wan directed a Smallville episode, man. I was willing to go with you on that.
It made sense, honestly.
Wow.
Kind of theoretically. And I didn't feel like it was worth looking into at all. Just made sense, and I went with it. And we're wrong, and that's what you get for not looking into shit.
Yep, that's what you get. That's
what happened.
We're unprofessional.
Yep.
And I just realized that I have a little twist tie that I'm playing with, and as I was saying that, subconsciously, I just looked down and realized that I was tying it into a noose around my finger.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, that's a little telling, huh?
Well done. Which
All
hand?
right, well, we're the right.
The right, okay. There's kind of an alien syndrome you can get with certain features of your body. You don't think that limb belongs to you anymore.
Uh-huh.
Just watch that in the future. That's all.
Okay.
Not trying to seed anything or turn you into a supervillain or anything, but just watch that.
Right.
Watch that.
All right. So we're going to jump over to the television news. If you don't follow us over there and you aren't caught up, we are pretty caught up. And we might get a little spoilery, but there's not a lot of news. But if you don't want to follow us, you can jump off here, go over to DC On Screen to get every episode if you like, or come talk to us on Twitter, DC On Screen. I have fun when we talk to people on Twitter.
Sure.
I don't know how you feel. Do you have fun when we talk to people on Twitter, Jason?
Indeed, I do.
Well, that's good. That's a real good thing to say. That's healthy.
It's taught me not to fear the platform.
All right, guys. So we're gonna jump in right away over to Supergirl. She has a series 3. What are we in the UK here?
No, go for it. I like series.
Season.
I like series.
Supergirl has a series 3 finale date set Monday, June 18th. I believe that was
próximo temporada de esta season.
Yeah.
De Supergirl.
I don't speak Italian.
Yeah, neither do I. Wish I knew French so I could understand what I just said.
We. All right. Monday, June 18th. I'm pretty sure that they said that before, but it is, I guess, set in stone now. Over to Arrow, though. Roy Harper is returning as a series regular in season 7.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that?
I'm okay with it.
I'm a little didn't he run away with Thea?
I know, that's the thing. It's like, I like having him back, but I do feel like we're going to have like some giant excuse about why Thea is not there and he is.
Well, okay, because I seem to also remember that she was like, you'll have to forgive me, I kind of was busy while I was watching Arrow, which is standard this season, sadly.
Just the last few episodes.
No. The season.
No. We'll argue about that in a couple weeks.
I mean, I'm not telling you, this is just how my experience with the show this season has not been great. But yeah, so didn't she also run off with the League of Assassins or the League of Shadows or whatever the hell they're calling themselves on that show?
Yeah. I mean, Merlin basically just said, come with me.
No. I mean, but at the end of this last episode, Brothers in Arms or the episode before that, whatever it was, didn't she was it her and Roy going off with Nyssa?
Yeah. And
did that happen?
Yeah. And Roy said, I'm gonna stay with you and all that. It's the whole thing where
I'll stay with you. I'll stay with you, Thea. 100 years.
Yeah.
Roy
and
Thea.
they exited in a way where Roy got in the car too quick, and I kind of thought, oh well, damn, we just said bye to him fast. And then I guess we're back. And I'm a little annoyed because I swear there was some some piece of news where like I don't know where it came from. I really don't. I just ran across a tiny quote, and I think I'm remembering it correctly, but we'll see. Where like Stephen Amell was saying all the nice things about Will Holland and how he had enjoyed their time together and everything, and kind of ended it with, well, it was a nice excuse to get Roy back, though, at least.
Mm-hmm.
All that phrased very differently, but that was the sentiment. And kind of when I read that at the time, I thought,
for a minute,
for a second, yeah, like, and now I'm thinking that was out there and everyone missed it.
I mean, you know, it makes sense. Like, she doesn't want to be on the show, and she stated that. He does want to be on the show, and he stated that over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's getting what they want.
Everybody and their mama hates New Team Arrow, so
there's a lot of that out there.
Did you? I didn't include it in the news, but did you happen to see Guggenheim talking about like, well, we hadn't really considered like that people would like really hate the New Team Arrow. We just thought that like we would create this like division in the team, but that like they were really even-handed, and you know people were going to be, you know, see both sides of it. But no, everybody just like, we just didn't consider that people were had more history with original Team Arrow, and we're going to turn on New Team Arrow as ardently as they did. And I'm like, well, no shit, man.
I didn't read that, but if what you're telling me is right, come on, dude, just come on, man. Like, especially the history part. We've been following these people for years, and then you get to a point where, like, especially in the last 2 seasons, and this season in particular, you've built up the whole idea of he's different, and then in like the last couple episodes, he was standing there alone at one point. Just alone, with Felicity pissed and Diggle on his way, and Team Arrow was completely demolished, and it was just Oliver again. And I actually liked that as a storyline. I'm kind of.
Are you caught up on Arrow?
Yeah, as far as I know.
All right, so Brothers in Arms, Diggle, he bolts, he takes off.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
He's done because he doesn't like Oliver's leadership.
Yeah,
Oliver leaves a trail of bodies.
Yeah, great argument between those two.
Oh yeah, they both did a fantastic job.
Super cathartic for the series in general.
Over the last couple of episodes, they've had this argument going, or they've ground it into our heads that it's not about him being Green Arrow necessarily. It's about him being the leader. You know, the mantle is the mantle, but Oliver's leadership skills leave him wanting. How much you want to bet they get him back by making Diggle the leader? Sort of like Iris with Team Flash. They make Diggle the leader of the team. And
Oliver's like
Ollie's sort of like the right hand man, just taking orders. While he's like he still gets to complete him, and he still gets to be mayor, but he doesn't have to make those hard choices anymore.
I like where you're going. I don't think they'll do it. I think it's gonna end up being like in the last episode, it was still they went out there, they trusted each other. I think it's gonna end up being they're gonna try to write it as an equal partnership. I like where you're heading. I understand, and I think it could definitely be done, but I think that's what they're gonna do instead.
All right. I guess we'll see, man.
Dum.
Maybe the best theory will win.
I like that.
Yeah, it was fun. I guess over to the Titans. So, some photos have been leaking, man.
Surprising that we're doing that. But okay, go ahead.
I know, right? All right, so we don't normally talk about set photos because they're not official in any way, but some photos did leak, and people really aren't happy. Like, all over the Twitter, people are freaking out about this. And, you know, there's no context, so I don't feel like this is a spoiler, but basically it kind of boils down to Beast Boy ain't green and Starfire ain't orange.
Right.
I will say there is, like I said it before, there's no context. They look like they're in civilian wear, so maybe there's some kind of Wayne Tech holographic bullshit going on, making them look normal. So they can walk around in public without people freaking out?
Yep.
Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe it's just, you know, bad. It doesn't look great, but again, neither did the Flash costume. The set photos of the Flash on the CW did not look good. That show is perfectly fine. No set pictures have ever looked good.
Yes. I mean, that's the main thing.
Behind the scenes set pictures have ever looked good.
But
actually, that's not true. I take that back. When Zack Snyder's got Clay Enos shooting like Superman walking out of like a warehouse.
Oh, but hell yeah. Yeah, that's different. And apparently that guy can chimp on his phone and make a damn beautiful image. That's different.
Yeah. I follow one Vero. I'm jelly.
Yep. I get it.
I don't know how he makes that.
We're looking at set pictures Come on, man. Like, there's so much that can go behind that. Like you said, it could be holographs. Who knows?
Yeah.
It could be that these characters aren't the colors you expect them to be, in which case, I guess green and orange aren't necessarily... I don't know what kind of version of racism that is, but still, like, we're still just talking about skin color.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just
there's
still
no version of
weird.
orange washing, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still it's still like the spirit of these characters are there, but like there's so many things that can happen. Holograms,
Yeah.
simulations, anything. You're talking
And,
about somebody walking on a set, like you just
And people are
can't.
like conjecting that, like, no, this must be when they first meet, and
Actually,
they
that's
shot
what
that
I'm calling
pilot
it.
like months ago.
You just that's not premature ejection. That's what I'm calling it.
They made that pilot a while ago. They're probably just in civilian wear they're in the middle of the street with a bunch of people around them.
Who the hell knows?
Anyway,
I don't know, it's really difficult to get mad at something like that, and people are doing
just
it.
take a step back.
Yeah.
Give them a second.
Give them a second.
That's going to be the name of this episode. Screw SEO. It's going to be called Give them a second.
It matters, man. It matters. I don't know. There's so many tricks you can pull. I mean, you can change things in the story. We're talking about comics. Shit changes there too. And like, for all we know, in the pilot, there's some ridiculous contraption that, like, for the first 10 minutes of the show, you see them in the colors you're used to, and then there you go, hologram, there you go. We've come up with this serum that as long as you take it X amount of time, you appear normal. Great. And then in episode, I don't know, what are these going to be, like 12 episodes or something like that? Episode 4/7, 8, and 9. Oh my God, Starfire's orange again, and everyone's up in arms. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can all play. If I gave you the pieces, you'd put the puzzle together however you felt like it.
Yeah. Sure.
Just
Sure.
calm.
Give 'em a second.
Calm the H down.
Like, I saw the pictures and I went, that looks like shit, but I grew up in the 90s. I'm used to this.
Right? Right?
Yeah, and unlike now, like back in the 90s, if you saw a set picture that looked like that, that's what it was going to look like.
That was really what,
Like-
yes, that's what you were dealing with.
Like, does anyone else remember the Gen X made-for-TV movie on Fox?
No, I do not.
You don't. Yeah, look that up on YouTube someday,
Oh,
man.
God. Okay, all right.
It's bad.
Fair enough. But what you're
It's
describing
bad.
is, like, this was fanzine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Back when the kind of thing you were reproducing was like a bad filmed version of something that would look roughly what it looked like because lighting was so important at the time that we couldn't change it in post like we can now.
I'm not even talking about fanzine stuff, really, honestly. Like, I'm talking about, like, what we see as set pictures today and go, oh, that looks bad. Back in the 90s, those were like the official stills in a magazine
I'm still thinking about fanzines though when you talk about that.
that were polished, and you went, oh, that looks great.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't look like the character,
Yeah.
but that looks like, a real-life representation of the character. And then you watch the thing, and it was like, no, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Hasselhoff's Nick Fury. Co-starring Lisa Rinna. What the hell, man?
Some perspective, people. That's all we're asking for. Some perspective. Just take it all in. You've seen some stuff. Give it a minute.
Shall we evoke the spirit of Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman?
Probably not, but go for it. What's your suggestion then?
Oh, no. There's no suggestion, just remember it.
Oh, just
Remember how bad it looked.
remember how the flying looked even worse than the movie that came 12 years or whatever before it.
It looked worse than the 1970s,
Yeah.
than Superman 78 or whatever the hell it was. To be fair, every subsequent Superman movie after that looked worse too, but... I mean, in that line.
something where,
Superman
like-
Returns looked pretty dope, but...
That one actually did finally, but it was still mostly like, if nothing else, can we not give Men of Steel this? For once, I believed a man could fly.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I believed Christopher Reeve's Superman could fly. Like,
Oh, when I was a kid, sure.
that was great. I mean, to be fair, I was a kid and I was still going, oh, that shit's on wires. But I didn't really believe. But yeah, like,
But man,
I mean, I was the kid sitting there going like, yeah, the Enterprise is on like a stick.
yeah.
I know this.
And it's a bunch of plumbing supplies attached to a stick. Yeah, we all get that.
Every time I go into Home Depot, I go to the plumbing section just to look at nacelles.
I know. Seriously, if I sold that to you, I swear to God, it would cost $16. The entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just everything you have to do afterwards, fine. But yeah, that ship, that iconic ship,
No.
less than 20.
Which has merit, though. The design, though, has merit. Like, Matt Jeffries, the guy that designed it, was like, he was like an engineer or something in the Air Force.
Oh yeah, no. I've seen designs for an actual interstellar ship that we can't afford to build and don't have the resources to, but would theoretically work, and it kind of looks similar-ish.
Yeah. Anyway, moving over to Young Justice. Khary Payton, Aqualad, says that they are done recording on Young Justice Outsiders. He says, we've already recorded all 26 episodes. We're just waiting for the animation to come back. I've already seen some of it. It looks great. I'm so excited. It is as twisty and turny and full of so many characters. I can't wait for you guys to see it. You're gonna love it. I'm excited too, man.
Oh, dude, I'm down. Like, I'm going to watch that entire show again in the 2 or 3 weeks that precede it coming back.
I won't, but I just watched it like last year.
I know. It's been a couple of years since I watched, well, anything out of it. Yeah, I'm going to have to recatch everything. But, man, I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice to learn that, like, oh, we're going twisty again. We're not going to just do a fan favorite, anything. It's yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I think we all remember that great little twist where we look down at the monitor and see that, Megan is turning into Black Canary and making out with Superboy, and you're like, oh shit, role play!
Yeah.
That was more twisty to me than any of the actual twists in the plot. I was just like, they're doing this shit on a kid's show, yo, what?
Funny as that is, yeah. Oh, and there's your green. You're fine. Just apparently just get DC streaming, and they're going to give you every version of stuff. I kind of agree
you're gonna
with
have
that.
you're gonna have to get DC streaming to watch Titans anyway.
Yeah,
so.
you will. But apparently you're gonna get several versions of things. So whatever. You'll be right.
Yeah, whatever. You know what? They finally explained why.
You're gonna do it anyway.
Manhunter. Oh yeah, I was gonna have to watch it. Yeah, they finally did after like 2 years on Supergirl. Like in the 3rd season, they actually like explained why, Martian Manhunter is just always looking like a dude, just like a normal dude on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like we will change to the appearance of the people. Okay.
Yeah, basically courtesy.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And I'm good with that. That works.
Hang
for me.
that lantern, buddy. Let me know.
Right?
Give me a line. That's all I'm asking for. Those are the good exposition airlines. I don't need to know about all the crap Laurel's been through or the last 5 years. I don't need that.
No, exposition it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's over necessary. That's when we all get annoyed.
Anyway, man, that's the last piece of news I have. That's it.
Is that it? All right. Well, that's it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Damn.
Bye.
We didn't do this. I don't know.
If you enjoyed the show, let us know. Even if you don't give us a review, it always just makes us feel better. It makes us feel good. Makes us feel like the show is worth doing. If you just throw over to Twitter and give us some love, man. I don't know. That just makes my week, man. It really does. Sure. I'm a pathetic creature, and your praise fuels me. If you'd like to hear more episodes, we're on it. We're everywhere. We're iTunes. We're not everywhere. We're not Spotify. I can't figure out how to make that work. And they're just not copping to us, man. But
No, they apparently just decide who's there. It's weird.
Well, recently, a few weeks, not a few weeks, maybe 3 months ago, there was a submission form that you could go onto Spotify and request that your show be on Spotify.
Sure.
Or request that a show be found on Spotify. And, I submitted, and never heard back anything. And, but I've heard you won't hear back. You just have to check. I check. They're not there. We're not there. Other podcasts are showing up. Like Supergirl Radio's on there. Mark Maron's show, WTF, is on there. A lot of podcasts are on there. Now I'm finding, I've looked into it again, and they've now optimized it to where certain hosts, you can just outsource it to Spotify when you upload your show. And our host, Blog Talk Radio, is not part of that.
Fantastic.
So, I don't know. But we're everywhere else. We're iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, we're TuneIn. We're everywhere. Except for Spotify, apparently.
'Tis the nation.
And, that'll probably eventually change. But you can go over to DC On Screen for every episode for free. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're around. We're always over there talking to the guys from Fans Without Borders and Suicide Squadcast and Multiverse Musings and stealing the remote and having a good time. Yeah, come join us. Come join our riotous debauch.
Join us.
Into the body.
No, damn it.
Touch the body.
No. End it, Dave. End it.
Keep some DC on your screen. Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52, Week 4. It was performed by me, David C. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Future Elevators, can be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Effie Oppelders of the fantastic podcast Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud. It can also be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We are proudly in partnership with TV Time, TV show calendar and social media site that lets you keep track of what you're watching, what your friends are watching, and where you all left off. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, an improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.
Are